Welcome back to the Padilla Family Homestead. Today we are working on the first step of making salves, and that is infusing some oil. And so I have some calendula petals. Some of these flowers, some of them have already dried, some of them are fresher. I have a few from last year that I did not use up, so we're going to use those today. I have some chamomile that has been drying, and again, some has been drying longer than others. And then I have some lavender from the farm, and I'm really excited. These are the ones from the farm when we went and took my daughter's graduation photos there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to infuse all of these separately. And then when I go to make things, I can mix the oils if I want to. Not everything do I want lavender in, not everything do I want chamomile in. Almost everything I want calendula in. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how I do this. So this calendula from last year has no cottonwood on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it in this jar. And I'm going to go through this calendula and just on all these dried pieces pick off these wonderful cottonwood blooms as much as I can. I can't get everything off, but I do want to get as much as I can because this does bother my allergies. So we take this oil, we're going to steep it for a few weeks. And then I take this oil and I can add it into all kinds of different skincare things. My favorite is into salves and lotions. So I think the dried petals are so fun. Especially the variegated ones, they just have so much attitude to me. I think they're so cute. And they all start off kind of like that and then they dry up. So we're going to put them into the jar, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave room for me to be able to add more in once the rest of these are dry. I just want to go ahead and get this started. So that's the calendula into it, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the chamomile. Ooh, actually, I think these are pretty, oh, the ones over here still have a little bit. So probably about half of these are ready. And the other half still has a little bit longer to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in here, and then I'll keep adding to this, and I'll let it steep a little bit longer. That way I'm getting all the benefits. And then I'm going to take one of these sprigs of lavender, and I'm going to do it right over the table. That way, if I drop any, I can wipe it right off. And I'm literally just gonna, this is getting pretty dry now. And I'm just going to peel it off and put it in this jar. I mean, I could break it off and just put the twigs in there too. But I really want to kind of, as I'm doing this, it's kind of crushing the lavender flowers, and it helps them to start releasing and be ready to accept the oils, so that way it goes into the oils. Now when I do the oils, some people do fresh flowers. I prefer to do dried flowers, which is why I'm waiting. Some people are fine with the fresh, but anytime you add moisture into the oil, you're opening up for things to go wrong, for bacteria to grow. And so I prefer to do it dry, so it has as little moisture being added as possible. That's me. You could do your research on what you prefer. I've seen things done both ways, and it be fine. And I think it also depends on how long you leave it in the oil form. Also, what oil you use can depend on what you're going to be making with it. A lot of people really love to use olive oil. There's all different oils that you can use to make salves, and depending on, or lotions, and depending on what you're planning on doing with it, I think will depend on what oil you're going to use, and also just what texture your skin likes. So we are using avocado oil today. Same avocado oil I cook with. We'll be using that today, and we'll let it steep for a few weeks, and then we'll strain it out. And if I don't know what you can and can't give it to with the oil. I don't have chickens yet, so I haven't done that research. So you can look at what you can or cannot do with the spent flowers that have oil coating them. And I think, again, that's going to depend on what oil you use. Okay, so I think I've got quite a bit off of that, and it smells really strong. Wipe off this table really fast. I totally want to make some soap with this lavender. Alright, so this is the avocado oil. I get it from Azure Market, and it's avocado refined cold pressed. I get it in the gallon. I prefer this one over the Costco avocado oil. For some reason, my tummy likes it better. But I think that both are probably good. I just prefer this one. So it's actually a little bit more, like a couple dollars more, to buy it from Azure in the gallon than to buy two 2-liter bottles from Costco. At least in our area, that's what it is. So it's worth doing your research and seeing how your stomach handles things, but I just like this one. So I'm going to take my jars that are not super full. I may add more to this, but I want to leave room in it. And I'm really going to go, the plastic peeling from my bottle just fell in there. Alright. Just that little foam for the seal. Alright, so I'm just going to pour it in. I'm going to try to get it all coated up. I need to decide how much I'm going to do of this. I may add some more lavender into here. So I'm going to do a little bit more oil, because I may end up adding some more lavender, but I really want room for it to move around and really get all the medicinal benefits out of this. So we'll let that steep. We'll cover it and let that steep. The calendula I'll definitely be adding more to, so I'm actually going to fill this calendula up probably to here, because I will fill up the rest of this jar very easily with calendula over the next few weeks. I'm picking a few calendula every day, and so I'll make sure I fill the remainder of this jar up and just let it steep. Calendula is great for the skin, so is lavender, and I believe so is chamomile. Chamomile is going to take a little bit longer for me to get a lot more, plus I wanted some for tea. So I'll probably let the remainder of what I have here dry, so it's not going to add very much. So I'm only going to fill this up a little bit, because this is my first time using chamomile for a salve or lotions, and I want to make sure that we like it. And I want to have some for teas. I still have all my chamomile plants growing. The weather is just funky this year, and I never know what's going to happen. So if I need to make a second batch, I will towards the end of the season. and that'll be fine. So I'll do a little bit more than that. Yeah, I'll do a little bit more. And then I'll add some more chamomile to this, just a little bit, and let it steep for the few weeks. And then maybe end of July, beginning of August, probably beginning to middle of August, I will do a video showing me making some products from this, what we use for our home. This is one of the things that I have made and I really enjoy. We've played with the consistency a lot, but this is calendula salve, and so if you have a really dry spot on your skin, this is great for it. If you have bug bites, I think it's great for it, like mosquito bites. I have a lavender calendula that I made last year that I really like. This I will put on in the summer. I need to put some on my heels actually, but sometimes I'll just put it on my hands, especially if I've been doing a lot in the kitchen, doing a ton of dishes and my hands just feel dry. I will do a lot of the salve. And I use beeswax, shea butter, and hold on. I'm trying to remember, it's coconut oil. So one my lotion bars have the shea butter. I have to look at the recipe for this out. So I'll look up the recipe. One has shea butter, one has some coconut oil involved. So I'll look at the recipe. I want to say this has shea in it. It kind of smells cocoa-y, but I love the avocado oil for this as well as for cooking. My skin likes it. And you feel moisturized and you're doing good stuff for your skin. So this is the first step. Join me back here in the middle of August. Make sure if you're new, subscribe. If you have been subscribed, just hang out and wait for the next step for making salves. I think I'm going to play with, I've had this stuff to do cold processed soap for over a year and I haven't done it. We just had one thing after another. So I may experiment with that and I may take you along for that journey, but just know it's my first time doing it. So, but I have a few other things I want to make this skincare wise that we're going to use some of these oils for and just some of the dried herbs for. So thank you for joining me. I really hope that you have a great rest of your day, that you've had a great week, that you have a great upcoming weekend, and that you are going to enjoy your summer and you do some projects that are getting your hands dirty, that are learning new skills and doing fun, natural things for your household. We'll talk to you on the next video.